Welcome everybody to another episode of Food and Laughter. It's your boy Lavell. We got Terrance G. Our guest co-host today is Breanna Kalhorn, aka Killer K. And our guest that we are interviewing today, man, this dude, man, he's pretty cool, man. He wears the cowboy boots pretty often. He's beloved with everybody. He has no beef with anybody on the scene. Give it up for Julian Leisure. Also, we got food from Margaritas. I forgot to say that. We got the cheese quesadilla, which Breanna says she's hogging. And we got the chips and the guac. And then we got food from the last episode because, you know, Ben was talking too much. So we got a lot of food left. But, man, we're going to start with this man on the left. What's
Your
going
name
on
is Breanna, right?
Yeah.
Not Breanna.
Did I say Breanna?
How's she?
Yeah, you said Breanna.
You've been saying that.
I've been saying that?
Yeah, you've been saying her name.
I never correct anyone.
Man, I never.
That's just weak. I don't either, though. My name is actually Julian Leisure, but people just pronounce it as leisure, so I don't correct them.
That's your fault for spelling it like leisure.
I didn't spell it. My parents, they just wanted to be fancy in French, and they said leisure. Yeah.
I'm illiterate up here, man. What's going on, man?
Man, I don't correct people either. So
I feel like leisure fits you better though. Like, given the whole Omaha persona and all that, it's like Julian Leisure, perfect.
Man, I guess. I'm just a guy.
Hell yeah, man. This is with the ostrich boots.
Yeah, I like these. These are like $800 boots.
Dude, no
Dang.
Very
kidding.
beautiful. But my grandpa gave them to me. I didn't buy them. I would never buy these, but I wear them.
I just know like this much about boots, and anytime you hear somebody talk about ostrich, they're up there in
Ostrich
price.
is high quality.
And so, as soon as we did that show and he broke out his ostrich, I was like, oh, this guy's got money.
No, I've got 4 kids. I have 0 money. I'm dead.
Let's start there, man. Forget the comedy journey. All right. How are you under 25 with 4 children, Julian?
So I had twins. So that kind of happened, you know.
Right.
That's like a discount.
Yeah.
You know?
2 for 1
Technically, we
special.
have
One
3.
special, you know.
Yeah.
And so then, you know, birth control just doesn't work. Because, like, she had an IUD for the twins, which is like 99% chance she couldn't get pregnant, but she did. So clearly that.
Who wasn't Antonio Cromartie, the NFL player that like had 11 kids, got the snip, and then had a 12th one like 7 months later?
That's going to happen to me.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
you guys are both just like, I don't know, like super fertility.
Yeah.
I had to like stop making eye contact with women, so I'm like afraid to like look at you before you get pregnant.
Like, I feel like one of your
How you doing,
relatives
ma'am?
has been like making a sacrifice to some kind of fertility goddess or something.
I think I'm cursed because I have her name tattooed on my leg.
Oh.
So I think that's like it's like just like
It's like a connection,
yeah. So you know,
very sexual
You the
connection.
Nick Cannon of the Omaha comedy scene.
Man.
Trying to be,
You are.
man.
He's trying to
I
be.
call myself Kanye Midwest.
Kanye.
Kanye Midwest.
Kanye
I like
Midwest.
it.
All right, but let's start with it, man. So, what made you get into comedy, bro?
Yeah.
I've always just been kind of a goofy person. You know, I've always like been in entertainment like realm. Like I started off doing music. I ended up that wasn't for me, and then I just needed something, you know, that I could express like how smart. I think I do comedy because I want to like flex how smart I am to people. You know, that's kind of my thing.
So that's your ego.
For
That's
me,
your comedian-
Because for me,
comedian ego.
like growing up, like being like a black kid, I always got, you know, people coming up to me and like, oh, it's like surprising that you speak so well, or like just like passive aggressive things like that.
Right.
And so for me, I've always been like, okay, people see one thing, but I'm like completely different than what like people expect, like just based off seeing me, seeing the tattoos,
Right.
black guy.
So like the stereotypical like you're so articulate comment is real.
Yeah, I've had
God.
that happen to me like a
That's-
lot. Like when I was young, it was like a weird thing where like I didn't like pay attention to it, but like now looking back at it, I realized that it kind of gave me a complex because like I mean I was a pretty smart kid. I knew how to read when I was 3, and I spoke, you know, proper English, and I don't sound like how people probably expect me to sound.
That's wild that people think that's like an acceptable like thing to say to someone, you know?
But it sounds so innocent though, so it's not like one of those things where I take it like super serious.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like an innocent thing to say, but there's like so much weight to that statement. That people
And there's
don't-
probably a few people out there that don't mean it, but it does carry that weight of everything. And so do you think that that has shaped your comedy now? Now, having delved into it, do you think that that's something you still carry? Do you think it's something that still weighs on your mind that you'd like to address, or how does that affect that?
For me, it's like, it's hard for me to discuss things like that, like in my comedy necessarily. Like I try to, but it's like, I feel like it's like too serious, or it's not relatable enough, or people aren't going to take my like concerns serious. So with my comedy, I guess it's like more of, okay, I'd rather just show how witty I can be, or how like clever I can be with like whatever joke that I'm trying to write, you know? That's kind of where I'm at.
That's what's up.
All right, man. I'm gonna get serious, man, because you know it's a subject that we gotta talk about.
Okay.
Starts with a B.
All right.
I'm gonna just bring it up. I ain't trying to be all controversial, but I gotta ask because, you know, I've been hearing about it a lot. Just it's booty, man. You like getting your booty ate, man, for real, man? Like, seriously, man?
Man,
Every time I see you on stand-up on stage, man, you bending over, you on the floor, you on the stage, you got your legs up. Is it true or is it not true,
you
man?
think you're so funny with these misdirects, man. I saw that last little interview. Man, you think you're so funny, dog.
Watch the last episode,
Man.
Got him.
Come on, man. You turn red a little bit. I ain't never seen a black man turn red. You turn
It's
red
these
a
lights,
little bit.
man.
Oh, it's the
I
lights.
got
It's
a little
warmer.
engine in me, you know? Native American, dog.
I'm gonna be sunburned by the end of this.
This is tanning for you, dog.
For real.
Man. Yeah, I do, man.
Well, now
It's just one of those weird things where
some
I'm
jokes
into
are
it.
based in truth.
Oh,
However, you don't want to know that.
It worked.
Hey, that,
I don't do that joke anymore though.
oh, that's what's up, man. So, oh, my bad. Do you think?
Yeah, go ahead.
My bad.
So, how are you deciding like how to adjust your material as you move forward?
So this year I've chosen to try to like primarily write like clean or material. Like in the past I've just like whatever is funny is funny. Like I just want to say the funniest thing. I don't care what it is or who it offends. But now I'm thinking bigger. Like for me, I want to be able to make anybody laugh. I want to be able to do these corporate gigs. I got a family to raise, so I can be my funniest with writing clean. Then I want to do that, you know.
Yeah. So with that, man, like I think every comic tends to go through phases, right? You go through that phase of delivering jokes that aren't yours. They're typically your inspirations, your comedy mentors, whatever, and they come out of that slump. There's always in there too is mixed in like the super offensive, like just saying, blurting out, fill in the blank things that cross the line immediately. Julian, you are no stranger to that. Do you see that changing going forward?
I'd say yes and no, because like I'm always gonna have those jokes that I write, but to focus on the things that I'm like performing, like if I'm gonna like focus on jokes that I'm going to work at, like this is gonna be a tight 5 or like a solid 10 minutes, it's gonna be the clean stuff. But if it's like a spur of the moment, like or a thing, or if I'm just like trying out like, you know, a dirty joke or I'm doing a dirty show, then I'll still have those jokes because I don't want to just like limit myself.
Right.
But I do want to focus like on, you know, doing clean comedy and stuff that anybody can laugh at.
That's what's up.
I mean, there's trying to like appeal to a broader audience, but I mean, you always kind of want to make sure you're staying true to yourself in some capacity, because if you write stuff that isn't going to be you, then that's going to come across to the audience. And this is also something with delivery too. Like if you try to deliver in a way that doesn't match you in the way you write, then there's going to be that disconnect as well.
I see what you mean with that, but I think the only thing that I'd say, like, not necessarily like in opposition to that, but I'd say that like, for me, like I said, the reason I do comedy is because I want to prove how smart I am. And so I feel like some of the smartest jokes are jokes that are clean, just because you have to be a little bit more, there's a little bit more that goes into writing a clean joke that makes people laugh as opposed to a dirty joke, because anybody can laugh at a dirty joke. It's easy. But a clean joke, it's like, okay, I gotta really try and work hard to make this work.
I think that's a good direction to head in, and I definitely think adding like constrictions can like constraints like that can enhance creativity and stuff and make you think a little more outside the box.
So what I'm hearing is there's not going to be any more butt-eating jokes from Julian for at least 6 months. Is that about accurate? Is that the over/under 6 months?
not gonna write
9
any.
months, 12 months? What are we looking
I'm not
at?
gonna write any, but I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna perform any. That's
I mean, as long as they give you the mic to, perform your jokes too.
Look,
man, they might not.
look, the butt eating joke is now going to come with a censor bar.
The craziest thing is that joke, I hate doing it, but I know that it works like 90% of the time.
That's part of comedy's growth, though, man. You end up hating your jokes after a bit.
You did that joke at your first open mic.
I didn't do it at my first open mic.
Really? That's the
I didn't
first
do it
thing.
until like a few months in.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I remember.
Well, that's fine.
It's kind of hard to
that
get
was the
that
first
image out of your mind, though, when he's, basically doing the YMCA with his legs at least on the back.
When did you start?
I started a month after you. I started September 1st of 2021.
That means you started like a week and a half after I did.
Well, whatever.
But yeah.
Still a month.
All right, so
What got you into it?
yeah.
Like what made you take the step, I guess?
I guess I was just like listening to Joe Rogan and like Joey Diaz, and like they would talk about like comedy, and I was like, I think I could probably do that. I've always been like, not necessarily like a class clown, but like just the person that could make people laugh in the class. And then like I never had any like shame in like doing something weird, like I don't know, not necessarily putting on a dress. Sorry, Cat Williams, but I would do that, by the way. I would put on a dress.
You should.
I should put on a
You'd rock
dress.
it.
Wow. All right.
I don't know.
I don't
even
see
remember
that.
what the question was.
No.
So what's your who's your favorite comedian in the local scene?
In the local scene, that's hard to say. I'd say that Megan Malone is a really good one.
She's solid.
She's solid.
Super solid.
I don't like any of you guys, honestly.
I don't like me half the time.
No, I don't know. It's hard to say because it just depends on like which type of mood I am for comedy. Because sometimes I'm in a mood where I'm like, okay, I want misdirect. Sometimes I'm like, oh, just give it to me fast and hit me with punchlines,
Yeah.
So so I gotta say, because we all friends on social media and everything like that. Are you an internet troll, man? Like, do you be posting stuff to troll, or these are your real opinions how you be feeling about some stuff? Because you be coming like left field with a lot of stuff. I ain't gonna bring no examples up or nothing, but I just like I ain't saying that it ain't true, but I gotta know, is it truth or is it trolling?
I think that it just depends, because sometimes it's like this is something that I genuinely feel, and I just want like sometimes I don't even want a discourse on it, but I just want to put that out there. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, I want the discourse, but then people take what I'm saying in a wrong way, or just the conversation gets diverted into something. I'm not necessarily trolling, but I just I don't know. I like to be right about things. I'm not very likable, if you guys can tell. I just
So that brings
that's why I wear these glasses. So I
that
look
brings
like
us right into our
Malcolm
next
X.
question, man. Julian, you've had a few beefs throughout the comedy scene here in Omaha and everything. Do you think that that's going to change going forward, especially with this new approach? Because you've said, I want to change the way I write. I've got a family. I want to provide for, and I want to do this. So is that going to change? Are you going to continue to take it on? And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. Everybody's got their thing. Are you going to continue to take it head on, or are you going to kind of let it surpass a little bit? Or what's Julian in 2024 look like?
Listen, I just want to get booked, and I don't want to be seen as somebody who is like attached to so much drama. And I can't say that that's not the case right now, because I have been attached to a lot of drama, but I don't want that like image. I just want to be somebody where if somebody's like asking for like a recommendation or like trying to vouch, they'd be like, oh yeah, he's a good comedian, can work clean, nice person.
Yeah.
That's all I want, really.
Yeah.
So.
Do you regret any of your like previous internet presence and the way that might reflect to like other scenes and things like that?
Good question.
I'd say so. I mean, I think that like, for example, with Brooke Barcel, like I was trolling her for sure, just because I had a lot of venom towards her, and so like I wish that there's certain things that I didn't post about her, but I still don't like her. So I mean, I don't regret it necessarily, but I wish that I didn't post it.
Yeah, because everybody looks, that's the thing that we've talked about is that at all times people are looking. And I never want to be that person that's throwing a little bit of poison into the well and doing those sorts of things. So with that, do you think that it's going to affect your relationships going forward, or how are you going to mitigate that going forward now that you got to kind of sweep up behind that?
I have thought about it, and I just think that I've made it like a harder, like uphill battle for me. But I just think that, with time and then just doing what I'm like saying that I want to do, like I think that everything should be able to resolve itself. I just want to stay out of any like trauma and just do clean stuff, and I want to get booked and make friends and
Yeah. So that means you're gonna have to stop posting then, right?
have to delete my whole account.
Deactivates his Facebook.
Man.
Social media.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Julian just needs to get like hire another person to handle his
Yeah,
social
you need a
media.
PR guy. You need a PR guy for sure. This is what I want to say. You make it say that to where I don't get in
I'm
trouble.
just very opinionated,
Agreed.
and people don't like that.
Agreed.
Just like Julian gets a PR agent and they're the only one with his Facebook password.
Yeah, right. He don't even have access to his
You
face.
guys are getting. My girlfriend's always like, "Are you sure you want to post that?" She'll be sitting there,
But he already posted. So
But in all, oh, go
So
ahead.
you and your girlfriend, you guys are like that crazy girl and her best friend, and the crazy girl's like, I'm gonna send this text message, and everyone's like,
yeah, but my girlfriend, sometimes she doesn't say anything. Sometimes she's just like shaking her head, and I'm just like, trust me, I got this.
you're like the crazy girl that's like, I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna slash his tires.
But in all seriousness, man, like despite the flaws that come with that, that is good ingredients to set up your comedy persona, because it's opinionated takes, it's being unafraid and unabashedly you, right? And it's carving out that path in your way. And so it's like, do you see taking some of that and still utilizing it going forward, or just kind of dropping that off completely as you trying to find this new, cleaner, type of Julian?
That's something I've been like really like thinking about like lately. Like I'm having a lot of like reflection on comedy and like what I want like from it. And I want to write jokes that are like intelligent, but also real to me,
Right.
And so I think that just focusing on, trying to write that way will, get me everything that I want.
Absolutely.
What's the biggest misconception that people think about you? What's the biggest
That's a good question.
That I'm a misogynist.
Why do people think that?
Because of my beef with certain people.
I always thought you were going to say because of my posts. I was like,
No, dude, I have.
just looks Lavetti in the eyes because of the things I say.
Because of everything I've ever said before.
So that was plural, man. You said people, man. So we know the first one. You already said it. Like,
I mean, that's really it. I mean, I just made it plural, but I don't know. Some of my favorite comedians are like, I hate to say female comedians, but that's just it. I enjoy like their perspective. It's different than like a man's perspective, and a lot of men do the same type of jokes, but there's a lot of really clever women that are writing some great jokes out here.
yeah.
anybody, like, what's your top 3 local female comedians?
Local, I gotta say Bree because she's here.
Okay, that's
But,
what
like,
that's
we all-
what I said. I was gonna see if you caught that or not. Okay, I was making sure. I was just gonna see if you was gonna say that or not. That's the only reason I said that.
Last episode, we asked Ben Webb what his favorite other OEAA nomination was, and he said Jeremy with Lavetti sitting right there.
Honestly, that's not even like. Never mind.
I'll say what you was gonna say, man.
I don't like him either.
All right, go down your list.
Here we go. Let's get it.
Wait a minute. I don't like
So we'll change the Facebook post for just spoken word vitriol.
straight on TV.
Okay, let's go. Let's do the rest of your list. Top
Yeah, we might as well just get
I just want to skip it.
let's end on a positive note.
Man, I had, like I said, Megan, you and Jocelyn. I mean, you guys are the only women that are like really have been doing it for long enough to like say that.
I don't know. Lauren Vanna's coming up too.
Lauren's a killer. I gotta say.
She's doing great, man.
Lauren's very, very polished.
Yes.
I think that's kind of her strength.
polished.
She's got very tight writing.
Yes. You've got her. I haven't seen her in a while, but Lene Closely. I haven't seen her in a bit, but she was really funny. Heather Jones is very funny, obviously. Yeah. We've got a scene here, man.
I'm trying to think, is there anybody else?
That you have beef with?
No. I had beef with Lavetti once.
Everybody did, though, man.
That was the 50 Cent of comedy, man.
That's one thing I learned immediately about coming here was everybody has a story with Lavetti.
The outside scenes, like the scenes surrounding Omaha, love Lavetti's Facebook profile.
Yeah.
They tell me they track it like a soap opera.
I mean, I did too before I even moved out here.
Hold on.
Because he was super active in the Kansas City.
This is my interview,
man.
right?
I know this is your
Agreed.
interview.
My bad,
Let me clear the air real quick, man. First off,
What's going on?
I've been super positive.
I agree.
And I've been keeping it just about comedy
Totally
on
agree.
my Facebook for a while now.
Absolutely
When it came to beef, I am not beef with nobody. I just want to tell jokes. I know how Des Moines feel about me. I know how Sioux City feel about me. I know how Kansas City feel about me, but I've been keeping it jokes. But I know it is funny you said about the tracker thing because somebody else told me that. I'm honestly, man, I've been on some positive stuff, and I'm glad you turning it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you turning it around, honestly, man, because like that, like I was that same way, man, and even before that, and it just got me nowhere because like I read somewhere else, man, like nobody remembers a bad joke, but they gonna remember a bad attitude.
Yeah.
So
That's
when
facts.
they try to book you, guess what? He funny, but his attitude, you know what I mean? And they're trust me, people band together just not to book you. And, and it sucks having that feeling, man, especially when you're really trying to grind at this, you're really trying to be funny. Yep. And even if you have a couple missteps and say something left field, some people don't forgive that. Some people remember, hey, man, remember what he said 2 years ago? And you're like, damn, man, I'm past that.
But
man.
it's fickle, man, because we have an experience where we were just tagged in photos with a particular comic and didn't get booked on a stage because of that.
Yeah.
Dang.
So it's like, and I wasn't in the picture, he wasn't in the picture. It was straight up, it was a picture that we were tagged in. And because it was the association, it was like, and it's like, well, damn. So everybody's watching.
Yeah, people weren't even booking us. And we was like, what? They're like, yeah, so-and-so. We're like, what? Like, we didn't even. Yeah. And it was definitely.
So it goes to like lend credence to the fact that you got that uphill battle and everything, man, but you're working. You got a podcast too, right?
I do.
All right, man, let's talk about that. Let's get into that podcast.
Leisure Cafe. It's a podcast where essentially I like to get like comfortable being uncomfortable. Sometimes we just talk about really it's not necessarily a comedy podcast. It's might be like a more of a therapy session.
Right.
It could be funny. Sometimes it'll be funny. Sometimes it'll be serious.
But it's you.
This is me, my girlfriend. She'll sometimes be like my co-host. Sometimes she'll be the producer, and I'll just have on comedians or anybody I want to talk to. Pretty much.
Do you have 5 questions that you ask every guest, or is it just, hey, we're gonna wing it today?
I think it just depends, because if I want to interview somebody for a purpose, then I'll go in and I'll have questions. Otherwise, I'll just go in and I'll be like, all right, let's just have a conversation. Let's just talk about something serious. Let's talk.
Where can we find the podcast, man? Where can people
It's not out yet. But I did get the Instagram name for the Leisure Cafe, and I'm working on it. It'll be out soon.
I was gonna say, I saw the logo out and everything else, right? You got that stuff.
You was laying in bed or something. Maybe I was looking at something else. Maybe it was your OnlyFans or something. I don't know. I thought you was laying in bed with a blanket and you had head. I don't know.
Yeah, that was the first iteration of the podcast.
Okay, there we go.
That
Okay,
episode's never coming out.
Okay.
But I bought a bunch of equipment, and now
ain't nothing wrong with a trial run, man. You know what I mean? To get the kinks out and everything like that, man. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it, man.
Thanks, man.
Man, out of we gotta ask, man. So the OEA Awards is coming up, man. Quit looking at me like that. What as a comedian of the year, man? Who do you want to see win and why?
Rashad Bond. Instantly.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I shouldn't have laughed.
Why did you just apologize?
That's what's
I
up.
apologize for laughing.
Why?
Okay. Who do you think deserves should have been on that list that wasn't on that list?
I don't think that I don't even know who was on the list, honestly. I think that I got taken off the list, though, because of beef that I had with people. Because I know that people nominated me.
Okay.
That's what's up.
So you didn't know who was on the list?
I don't really care if you're on the list.
No, I didn't know. I didn't say nothing about me being on the list. Hold on. man.
Lavell was fishing, and
No, I wasn't
Julian was
fishing.
like,
No,
I'm
I wasn't fishing that because, hold on, man. I was watching it live when they said the nominees. He was watching, but now he trying to say he didn't see the list. But hey, that's cool. That's cool.
I was in there, but I don't remember.
Ross Stolling's on it.
He deserves it. Absolutely. Ross
funny
Stolling
guy.
is
Very
is
funny
the,
dude.
Yeah, he's the king.
Very funny dude.
Lavetti's on there too.
I'm already crushed inside 2 episodes.
Dude, that's,
So what makes Ross qualified to be winning it, man? Let me ask you quick, man. Let's get deeper in that.
we'll get into the
You
details about it.
you
another
guys
time.
were there at Beach House. Were you there for the roast battle, the last roast battle, when Ross performed? You weren't there for that one?
I
Beach
think,
House.
yeah, because he was
yeah, I
the
was
feature.
there.
Yeah,
he
that
was
was
the
the
feature.
Yeah,
He absolutely crushed to like a crowd of people that didn't like him, and there was like this black lady that was heckling him, and he just handled it so perfectly.
oh man, because he has a typical deadpan delivery. If you know anything about Ross, and he lets that silence build to a beyond uncomfortable level, and he just has a way of bursting it. It's beautiful. But unfortunately, man, we've reached that point in the episode where we got to kind of wrap this up. So we want to promote you, man. You're the guy of the hour. Tell them where they can find you on the socials. Tell them where they can find you with the podcast and other things you got going up, man.
Well, I'm gonna be off social media because
For good reason.
For good reason. No, you can find me on Instagram at Julian Leisure Comedy, Facebook Julian Leisure. That's pretty much TikTok Julian the Comic, I think. Yeah, that's about it.
We promise you, he won't be that misogynistic in real life. He's a good guy, I assure
Man,
you.
we appreciate you coming on,
Absolutely.
man, for real, man. Appreciate margaritas for the food.
Yep.
Appreciate Breanna.
Breanna.
Which one we know, man? I don't know, man. We appreciate you coming here, guest hosting, man. We really appreciate it, man. Terrance, appreciate seeing you. And this is another episode of Food and Laughter. Y'all have a great night.
Yep.
Awesome.